Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Addie, and today we will be discussing my August TBR and my July reading wrap up, and I am so excited because I love these videos and I'm very excited to get back into doing like TBR videos. I'm not always the best with sticking to a TBR, but it's fun to like make the video. So I'm going to start with the TBR because that's what I am most excited about. There's a good mix of books I feel like in my TBR. I am currently in the middle of Summerween right now, so I have some spooky reads because I am getting so excited for fall. But there's also a few last lingering summer reads I would really like to read before the end of the year. And this is kind of like my last opportunity to do it. So I will definitely be reading some summer reads in August. I'm so craving spooky season, so we'll see how many summer reads we really get to. The first book on the August TBR is Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. This will be in a vlog next week. I'm very excited about it. I think this will be my next read. I have been so excited to read this like during like a Summerween season. This book is set in Door County, which is, if you don't know, like an upper peninsula of Wisconsin, and it's a very popular vacation destination for Midwesterners, and I just adore Door County. I think it's so cute, so I was very excited to read a spooky read set there. It's basically about this little island right off of that peninsula, and this island is essentially obsessed with the year 1994, and they're basically stuck in the year 1994. It follows this high schooler, Lily, who visits the mainland, and she's like, why are we like this? Like, this is weird. So she comes back and tries to discover why that they're so obsessed with 1994. Also, there is a disappearance in there that connects in, and I'm very intrigued. It's a very interesting concept. The setting, I'm very excited to read a summery spooky read in Door County. I love it there, so I'm very excited to pick up. The next book on my August TBR is Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption by Stephen King. I'm very excited to read another little mini Stephen King book. Funny story about this one, I was buying another Stephen King book at Barnes, and they were like, you can just add this one on for $5, and I was like, why not? Like, of course, what a steal. Fun fact about this one too, it's also my grandma's favorite movie, so I'm very excited to read this so I can watch the movie with her. I'm very much trying to get through like a big chunk of the Stephen King novels. I love his writing. I read Pet Sematary last year for Summerween, and I really adore his books. His concepts are so interesting. This one is about an unjustly imprisoned convict who seeks revenge in a strangely satisfying way. So I'm very intrigued to get to this. It's different. It's definitely different than what I've read from him so far. I've read very like paranormal reads from him, but this one seems a little like it's still gonna be spooky, but a little bit more character driven. It's only like a little over 100 pages, so it'll be a quick read. I am so behind on my reading goal. I'm trying to pick up some novellas and some graphic novels to pick it up just a little bit, hopefully getting me out of this whatever reading slump it is. It's not even a slump, it's like I just am reading really slow. I don't know what's up with that because I'm usually a pretty quick reader. Anyway, side tangent, I'm very excited to pick up this and kind of read a different vibe from Stephen King. And then into my summer reads. There's 4 reads I would like to read that have more of a summery vibe. And the first one is These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean. This was a book of the month that I got. I'm very intrigued just because it was marketed, I saw it on TikTok, it was marketed as like, if you liked Conditions of Will, you'll like this. It's kind of the same kind of vibe, and I loved Conditions of Will. So I wanted to see what this was all about. People were so into this book. It's about a wealthy New England family's long overdue reckoning, and one week threatens to tear them apart. It's set off a private island in Rhode Island, which love the East Coast summer vibe, so very excited about that. If you haven't noticed, I'm very like setting driven for what I like to read. If it's a setting that I like, I'll read it pretty much. I think it's about this family who the father dies, they all come back for their funeral, read the will, and they kind of have to play like this inheritance games to get access to the will or to their inheritance, and that's very similar to Conditions of Will, like very dysfunctional family dynamics, reading a will causing an uproar in the family. So I'm very excited to read this. If it's anything like Conditions of Will, I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. The next book that I want to read is actually one that I've already started, and it is The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hildebrandt. I started reading this in July at my boyfriend's cabin, and I really loved it, and I got home and I immediately started summer reading and I put it down, and with full intentions of picking it back up. It just has not happened yet, but I need to because I really enjoy this one. But I will definitely be finishing this in August. This one follows, it's like kind of a mystery. It's this wedding on Nantucket, but the morning of the wedding, the maid of honor is washed up dead on the beach and no one knows what happened to her, and it basically follows them, like the leading up to the wedding and the fallout of that and like the investigation. And it is so good. This is by far my favorite Ellen Hildebrand book I've read so far. I love the mystery aspect of it, the Nantucket vibes, like the house that this is set in is just unreal. It's insane. It's so messy, like all the dynamics that are like unfold and like get unraveled throughout the storytelling in this is so good, and I definitely am so excited to finish my last probably like 30% of the book. This one will absolutely be read in August. I need to finish this. It's so good. The next kind of summer read I want to read in August is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I've heard nothing but rave reviews on this book. People just love this book. It's crazy, and I'm so intrigued by it. It's about a friendship that forms between a woman who is a widow and an octopus in captivity, and it is told from the perspective, partly in the perspective of the octopus. And I'm like, that is so intriguing to me. Like, who, that's so creative. I've never read anything like that. This is very outside of my comfort zone with reading. I don't read a ton of literary fiction, so I'm very excited to get to this. It sounds so good, so perfect for summer, and I'm very excited to read in the mind of an octopus. Like, that's just so whimsical. I love that so much. So this will definitely be read in August. I'm so excited to get to this. The last summary read on the TBR is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I kind of have a very love-hate relationship with her. I absolutely love her setting. The little small lake town in Canada is just phenomenal. Like, I read Every Summer After and I like truly felt like transported back to like being at the lake when I was younger. Just like the like lake summers, and she writes it so well. She very much captures like that exact feeling it gets. So I love the setting. Her romances, I like them. I liked Every Summer After up until like everyone knows what the third act is. Like, that wasn't lovely to read about. The second one, Meet Me at the Lake, I just didn't like the romance. I didn't buy it. I didn't feel the chemistry at all, but like again, I liked the lake vibes. I'm still going on with her books though, because I love her settings. They're so great. Her writing is really good. I have a very hit or miss feeling about the relationships she writes. So, but honestly, that's not even the biggest reason I read for the books. I just love the lake setting, and it's so summery. Her books are just so summer, so I would like to get like finish up with the summer vibes of The Summer Will Be Different in August. I think this one follows a girl, Lucy, who's a tourist visiting at a beach house on Prince Edward Island, and Felix is a local who they just have fun together. But Lucy doesn't know that he is her best friend's younger brother, which I'm a little wary. How do you not know what your best friend's little brother looks like? Do you guys not like show pictures? Like, I get like if you've never like met them like in adult relationships, like that's normal, but like have you guys never like shown a picture? Nowhere has that ever come up. Like, I guess we'll see. So anyway, every year she escapes to this island for the coastal air, just some relaxation, and she's always drawn to Felix. So when her best friend flees Toronto for the island a week before her wedding, Lucy drops everything, follows her. Her mission is to help her best friend through this crisis while also navigating this very strong pull she has towards Felix. It sounds like a really cute summer read. I would like one more cute, sweet summer read before the summer is officially over. I'm not that mad about it because I'm gonna get fall reading, which is the best reading. But you know, I like to enjoy my seasons. So we'll finish it up with a perfect summer read because I know she always delivers on just like those pure summer feelings, and that's why I picked this one specifically. And the last book I would like to read in August is a book that I know I'm not going to finish in August, and you'll see why in a second, but it's one that I really want to start and finish by the end of the year, and it wouldn't be a TBR video without a fantasy book. I don't think I could go a month without reading a fantasy. So it's Oathbrer by Brandon Sanderson. As you can see, she's long. She is a little over 1,200 pages. If you guys have been around here for more than like 5 minutes, you guys know I love Brandon Sanderson. I love the Cosmere, and I am working my way through all of his books. It's just taken me a while, and I know it's gonna take me a few more years, but that is quite okay. I'm so excited because look at the map in this. They finally came out with like a colored map, and I'm gonna reference it every 5 seconds. I just adore these books. This is the 3rd book in the Stormlight Archives, but I really would like to get to it before I start to completely forget what happened in Words of Radiance, which I read Christmas. I really need to get to this. I don't know how to give you a synopsis of this. There is just so much lore, it's so much. But I highly recommend this series. I highly recommend if you want to get into the Cosmere. I would start with Mistborn. I highly recommend checking out Brandon Sanderson's work, but I would really like to finish an 1,000-page book this year, and that was one of my goals. And obviously this one I had in mind for it, but I kind of got to get going on that. And I know it's going to take me a few months to read because I read other books in between. I don't like read it all in one go just because it's a lot. I think now I find, like, it took me a really long time with these books, more so than other fantasy books, to get like a firm grasp on the characters and like what was going on in the magic system. So I feel like I finally like understand what's happening, so I'm very excited to get to this and get deeper into the characters, get deeper into the plot. And again, I think it's time. I feel it like in my bones. That's all for the August TBR. I have 7.5, which I've been averaging 6 books a month, so hopefully I can read more than that, but I guess we'll see. I'm trying not to get too ambitious because again, I have been reading really slow and I don't know what's up with that, so trying to keep my expectations manageable. So now let's discuss the books that I read in July. So July as a reading month for me was honestly a really great reading month. There wasn't a book that I rated lower than 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed all the books I picked up in August. I read 6 books, which isn't as much as I usually do. I'm usually go for about 8. I definitely feel with this month it was definitely quality over quantity. I read 2 very long fantasy reads, and I feel like that's kind of what slowed me down, but they were both really phenomenal fantasy reads, both of them 5 stars, so very glad I kind of sacrificed that quantity for quality in terms of July. One of those 5-star reads is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I absolutely just love her writing. She's very polarizing for a lot of people. I feel like some people either really love her or they really don't love her. I fall on the side of I really love her. I feel like her fantasy books are honestly kind of very distinct from other fantasy books on the market right now. I feel like I get something different, which is hard now in like the era of like romantasy and fantasy, and I love how many books are in the romantasy genre, and I love that people are like getting into it, but it also just, there's so much saturation in the market right now, and I feel like finding a book like The Poppy War is just so refreshing. And this is the 2nd book in The Poppy War, and I actually got I was so excited I got my hands on the special edition like right as I was thinking of starting this, but now I'm definitely gonna wait till all my books can match for the 3rd one to come out in this format, which is so worth it. I feel the illustrations are just beautiful. I don't want to talk too much about the plot because it is a continuation of The Poppy War, and it is mostly anything I could say is a big spoiler, but it does continue on with Rin's story. The Poppy War begins with Rin, who is a war orphan and in a very poor country village, but she dreams for so much more for herself, and she studies so insanely hard, like to the point where it's like extremely unhealthy, to get into the top military academy in the entire country. And she ends up miraculously getting in, and it kind of just follows her journey throughout, starting at a military academy in the midst of a war, and this just follows along on her journey. It's a few years later now, so she's a little bit older, which was really interesting to read about how she's maturing, which she's kind of insufferable, but I've learned to appreciate that about her in her own way. The ending of this book was just the biggest plot twist in the world. Total jaw dropped on the floor, and I am so excited for the 3rd one to come out in this format so I can read it like I read the other ones with the illustrations. But it is so good. If I want to recommend, like, as much as I want to say like, oh my gosh, go and read the Poppy War, it is so good. Definitely check trigger warnings before hopping into this. It is a dark fantasy. It gets into some really dark themes around war and genocide, and it's very gory along with that. Even sometimes, like, some of the stuff that was happening, I was just like I had to put the book down sometimes and like take a deep breath. It's so dark and so devastating, so just be cautious going into it, and definitely check all the trigger warnings before hopping into this book. Then the next book I read was Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. I was very eager to finish the Skyland series because I eat Kennedy Ryan's books up. I love them so much. She writes romance in such a unique way. Like, it's almost women's fiction, and I've loved the entire series, and this book was no different. I rated this book 4 stars. I love the series. Her characters are always just so fully fleshed out, so well written. They always are dealing with deeper topics than just the romance, and I feel like she does a phenomenal job every single time. This one follows Hendrix, who unlike the first 2 books does not have a kids or a family, and she is a very independent woman, and we love her for it. I was so excited for Hendrix's book, but she is dealing with, her mom has Alzheimer's disease and she is experiencing being a caretaker for her mother, and it follows her journey through that as well as the romance. And then Maverick is a billionaire tech mogul, but they immediately hit it off. He just kind of understands her like no one else does, but it is very forbidden to date him. They can't really resist that pull from each other, and it is just phenomenal. I think the first one in the series will forever be my favorite book in the series. It was so good. That one was just so heart-wrenching, but this one definitely gets very deep in the romance. You can definitely feel their connection, feel how much he cares about her, which I love. The way he loves her too is just so, he just knows exactly what she needs, and I love it so much for her. And it definitely, I love the themes it explores, especially as an only child. Like, reading about like being a caretaker for your parent and what that brings is definitely something like I know it's going to be a role that I step in one day, so it was definitely interesting to read about that. So overall, I absolutely love this. I absolutely recommend. It also goes into some social justice issues in all of the books that she writes, and I always love reading about that. I feel like I always learn something too when I read these romances, which is always a plus. I feel like most people don't think about learning something when they read a romance, but I always learn something new when or feel like I've gained a better perspective on the world after I finished her books. So I absolutely will always recommend the Skyland series if you're looking for a romance. It has such deep connections while also very complex characters and complex situations, and it just goes so much deeper than the romance. These are absolutely for you. The next book I read in July was my other 5-star fantasy, which was Buried Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This book was so good, and it was everything I could have asked for when I heard we were getting a vampire novel from V.E. Schwab. The writing was just so poetic, so beautiful, so well done, and so all the yellow tabs are my favorite vampire moments. There were so many great moments. This book follows 3 storylines: the 1500s Spain, 1800s London, and 2019 Boston. Like, you would think it would be so hard to connect these storylines, but the way they seamlessly connected with each other was just, it was so phenomenal. And there's very common themes throughout those three storylines, like women who hunger for more in life and a lot of female rage, and I love those topics. And the way she represented vampires was just so good. It was very lore accurate. The female characters in this were so different. I felt very deeply connected with these characters. I loved all the vampire lore. All their backstories were so hauntingly beautiful, and love V.E. Schwab. This one I talked a lot about in my last reading vlog, so if you want to know my more in-depth thoughts about it, definitely go watch that vlog because I talk about this so deeply. But this was 5 stars. I loved it. I have not met a V.E. Schwab book that I haven't loved yet so far, and I didn't think a vampire book by her would be any different, so I love her so much. This was so good. Go pick this up if you like anything to do with V.E. Schwab or vampires. The next book that I read in July was The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I actually never read One Dark Window by her, but this book, like its cover, the synopsis was definitely calling my name. I was so intrigued, so I decided to pick this one up after Buried Bones in the Midnight Soil because I was definitely feeling that fantasy gothic vibe. The synopsis of this is so interesting. I've never really read anything like it. It's about this girl, Sybil, I'm not quite sure. She is what they call a diviner in this kingdom, and essentially she dreams the gods, and the gods tell her the fortune of whoever she's like reading. Basically can tell the future, can tell signs. She's devoted to this cathedral called Aisling. Once that 10 years is up, no one really knows what happens when that 10 years is up. But right now she's at the tail end of her 10 years, and all of a sudden she has 5 fellow diviners with her. They're like her sisters, and suddenly they start going missing. She makes it her mission to find her fellow diviners and figure out what happened to them. But in order to do that, she must team up with a knight. He's just kind of insufferable. Like, he doesn't like her. She doesn't really know why, because she's very like revered in this kingdom. Like, everyone loves the diviners, wants them to tell their fortune, and he's like, no, I don't like you, I don't like what you do, like blah blah. And she's like, I don't really understand why, but like, okay, but like, I need your help. So they team up and they find out what's going on in this kingdom, and I really liked their dynamic. I really liked enemies to lovers. Like, I thought that was done really well. I thought they had really good chemistry. I really love the characters. I think the only thing that made this like a 3.54 star for me was in the middle. It definitely got repetitive as they were like going against like their foes. Each one they went up against, it started to feel a little repetitive in the beginning, and I was like, okay, whatever. The ending was such a twist, and I'm so excited for the second one because I did not see that ending coming. I had a feeling about one of the characters that he was going to do something a little sketch. I wasn't expecting it to be to that extent. Overall, I thought it was a really solid gothic fantasy read. I thought the gothic vibes were so immaculate. Also, there's one character in it, Bartholomew, who is a gargoyle, and he is so whimsical and so funny. He was my favorite character, and I feel like it added so much to the story. So if anything, read this for Bartholomew. He is hilarious and adorable and sweet. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. The next book I read was The Mist by Stephen King. This is my second Stephen King book I've ever read, and I really enjoyed it. It was definitely interesting. I'm realizing between Pet Sematary and The Mist, his mind when it comes to coming up with spooky concepts is just so beyond anything I could concoct. His imagination is incredible. This basically follows a family in this small Maine town after a big summer storm. After the summer storm, a mist starts to roll in, but not like your average mist. It's like very stark white, like very odd. But anyone who goes into the mist does not come out of the mist. And it's so short. It's about 160 pages over the course of like a couple days following this mist. The way he like writes a scene, it's just so detailed, and I really liked how it felt like a fully fleshed out novel in 160 pages. Like, I didn't need more. But that is all I'm going to say for now about The Mist, because I will be reading this in a reading vlog in next week, so don't want to give too much away about this one. Same thing about Murder Road by Simone St. James. It will be in a vlog next week, so I don't want to say too much about this. But this book follows a couple. They just got married and they're driving to their honeymoon when all of a sudden they are driving in this dark road at night, and this girl is on the side of the road, looks lost, looks drunk, looks confused, and they're like, oh, we should help her. So they pull in the car, see that she is so bloody, and she says someone attacked her and she was stabbed. They bring her to the hospital. She dies in the hospital, and now the couple is being accused of murdering this girl. First off, I'm not going to get into why that whole situation was so stupid, because like, they'd be the worst murderers in the world. But they learned that there actually has been a long string of killings along this road. They decide to investigate and figure out what is going on in order to clear their names. There's also a lot of paranormal elements in this, which is my favorite part of the book. But again, I don't want to talk too much about it because I go very much in depth in it in next week's reading vlog. But I really enjoyed this one. And if you're looking for a fast-paced summer spooky read, I absolutely recommend picking this one up. It's really great. Those are all the books that I read in July. I read a total of 6 books. Had such a great reading month. I am so excited for August. This is my last month that I'll have without school, so definitely gonna soak it up and enjoy it. But that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's any other videos you would like to see from me, please let me know in the comments below, and let me know what your favorite book that you you read in July was, or if you have a book on your August TBR that you're very looking forward to getting to. Thank you guys so much again for watching this week's video. If you like me or my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have such a fabulous week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!